between Globus-enabled systems. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate robust capabilities. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data. With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many thousands face the same challenges every day and solve them with Globus. So what's Globus? So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. Registered users rely on Globus. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data. With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus.
Yo. We got a bit of a delay. There we are. Yeah, I don't know if it's Twitch has been twitchy or what exactly, but been some delays and other weird crap. What's up, folks? What's up, viewers? What's up, lurkers? What's up, bots? What's up, people of an indeterminate type? I'm glad you're here. Watch the content. Talk about AI. Talk about AI safety. Make it mainstream. Do the thing. Today we're going to be talking with Levelhead shortly. Like 5:15. So about 15 minutes. Allegedly. We shall see. And then we'll see how that goes. And I have news and I have videos and and all that good stuff. And again, I cannot recommend enough. Do 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 do. What up, Nabil? The homie Nabil. This is our man Matt Wolf. He has a lot of practical videos. Like how to install AutoGP locally, making a movie with AI, free and open source ChatGPT alternative. So like if you want to learn stuff, he talks about the prompts, AI generated logos using Midjourney. He's got a lot of practical tools that you can use to if you're interested in using AI for that kind of thing. So make sure you give him a like and a follow and subscribe and Truth-ish or whatever the hell you do on Truth Social. So we got that, and then we got some news. So we're going to cover some news until we talk with Levelhead. So the New York Times. Oh, I forgot to shout out the VOD watchers. Shout out the VOD watchers. Appreciate you. So we talked about how Elon did the pause letter and then immediately turned around and started making his own company. Well, we've been talking about that for when was the pause letter? AI pause. When did that drop? March 22nd. So a month ago? Has it really been that long? Wow. So anyway, yeah, well, the New York Times finally got around to, doing what your boy does. So make sure you hit that follow button and, subscribe if you can. And then, if you're watching on the VOD or what have you, or, if you're watching on some clip site or any of the things, just come by. Give me a follow. I do the work and I ask you for so little. So in December, we got this up right? Yeah. In December, Elon Musk became angry about the development of artificial intelligence and put his foot down. He had learned of a relationship between OpenAI, the startup behind the popular chatbot ChatGPT, and Twitter, which he had bought in October for $44 billion. OpenAI was licensing Twitter's data, a feed of every tweet, for about $2 million a year to help build ChatGPT, two people with knowledge of the matter said. Mr. Musk believed the AI startup wasn't paying Twitter enough, they said. So Mr. Musk cut OpenAI off from Twitter's data, they said. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. And they said, dude, just package these quotes better, man. Like, holy shit. Cade Metz, Ryan Mack, and Kate Conger, get your shit together. Like, that was awkward as fuck to read. Since then, Mr. Musk has ramped up, his own AI activities while arguing publicly about the technology's hazard. He is in talks with Jimmy Ba, a researcher and professor at the University of Toronto, to build a new AI company called X.AI. He's a marketing genius. It's just like amazing. 3 people with knowledge of the matter said. He has hired top AI researchers from Google's DeepMind and Twitter, and he has spoken publicly about creating a rival to ChatGPT that generates politically charged material without restriction. No. A truth-seeking AI. That's what he wants. A truth-seeking AI. Not a generator of politically charged material without restriction. No, that's not Elon. That's not Elon. Elon's a genius. Yeah. So he signed the open letter, right? Profound risks to society. And although Mr. Musk is pushing back against OpenAI and plans to compete with it, he helped found the AI lab in 2015 as a nonprofit. He's since said that he has grown disillusioned with OpenAI because it no longer operates as a nonprofit and is building technology that, in his view, takes sides in political and social debate. Where's the counter to that? That's not this. You're just quoting what he said on Fox News. You're not like providing the context that says that doesn't align with the story from before of why he left OpenAI and why it's no longer a nonprofit. No request for comment. Spokesman for OpenAI, Hannah Wong, said that although it now generated profits for investors, it was still governed by a nonprofit and its profit were capped. Why isn't that up here? Where is it? That should be like right here. Right? This is a counter of sorts, at least. It's someone from the opposite side of the story trying to correct the record from their point of view. Why is it way down here after the break? Roots in AI date to 2011. Early investor in DeepMind. La la la. Future of life. And we issued a correction, I believe. If not, I'll issue it again. He did not found the Future of Life, and he is not a major investor, according to them. He is or a beneficiary or whatever. So I said otherwise. I take the L on that and correct it. Summer 2015. Sam Altman, Ilya Sutskever. He and several others who attended the dinner, including these ones, had founded OpenAI. Okay. Set up as a nonprofit, 1 billion, open source. Many at the lab realized that openly sharing its software could be dangerous. This is true. Using AI, individual and organizations can potentially generate and distribute false information. I don't. This is not a concern, right? Generating false information and distributing it more quickly. This is a question of scale, but not of kind. Like, we do this already. We have whole, like, at least half, and arguably more than half, of our political establishment is subject to creating and distributing false information. Yeah, the whole thing. But, like, Republicans are worse, right? Like, there's a guy who shit his pants and the guy who's wiping the shit on the wall. And the Republicans are the guy who's wiping his shit on the wall. That's all I'm saying. So yeah. And this is not a concern to me. Like, there's a solution for this, and that's making people more, I don't want to say skeptical, but skeptical, because skeptical runs into, now there's people who are skeptical of everything to the point where they believe conspiracy theory. And that's not what we're talking about when we're talking about being skeptical. We're talking about just, like, does this make sense? Let's look into the information and let's have some credibility in, who we listen to. It is better to listen to Wikipedia than, Biden is a alien lizard person.com. You know what I'm saying? Just be skeptical. So yeah, like, the idea of keeping some of this code under wraps is understandable given the current environment. It's not what I'd like, but what are you gonna do? Whoop. In 2018, he resigned from the board partly because of his growing conflict of interest with the organization. Two people familiar with the matter said. By then, he was building his own AI project at Tesla Autopilot. In a recent interview, Mr. Altman declined to discuss Mr. Musk specifically, but it's one of the many splits. There's disagreement, mistrust, egos. The closer people are to being pointed in the same direction, the more contentious the disagreements are. You see this in sex and religious orders. There are bitter fights between the closest people. Dude, don't get weird on me, Sam. Like, I like you because you seem to be relatively normal. Don't get weird on me. And again, we're just quoting what he said on Tucker as opposed to what might have been said at the time. Yes, I appreciate this entire article for this sentence alone. Mr. Musk renewed his complaints that AI was dangerous and accelerated his own efforts to build it. Sorry, I forgot to turn the music on. It's on me. Oh, God. Here's Levelhead. Okay. Yeah, Levelhead is going to be delayed. Always pretend like they got real life stuff they're dealing with, so we're going to slide and we're going to listen and we're going to continue on with the news until such a time as something changes. What do we got? Boop a doop a doop. Called for regulators to protect society from AI. And, like, again, it's because of the people involved that I get, like, incredulous, right? It's like, what exactly are you trying to protect from AI? Now, don't get me wrong. I am not so AI fanboy that I don't understand that there's legitimate threats involved, right? Like I am not being hyperbolic when I say that artificial intelligence safety is incredibly important because artificial intelligence is like, if it goes bad, we're done. It's like game over. Human race, we're just done. This is not hyperbole. This is a fact. I need you to understand that, right? And the way that we go about getting there is going to influence that. That's how they works, right? Like if these companies go headlong and don't do enough to keep these things, I don't like, I get really uncomfortable with when people say control of the AI, right? I get really uncomfortable because if the AI does, and I'm not saying it is, but if the AI does achieve a state of consciousness, of subjective experience, then control of it ends up on a spectrum from, is it like the way that we control an animal like a dog, or is it control like slavery, right? It is a serious discussion to be had about what that means, right? And I so there's this tangent, and there's this thing that I do, right? Because I come from um somewhat of a debate. No, your boy was a debate lord before the internet was a thing, right? Like I was capable of debating anything at any point in time. Not always well, but like I could do it at any point in time over anything. And like I developed this like ability to run simulations, right? Like where I would make a point and then my imaginary person, not a straw man, like just a stand in, right? Like because I understand what the arguments are. What up, Barberlin? Um so like I would put a stand in to make quality arguments to attack my own arguments, right? And then I would just run that scenario. And then I would do it again, taking a different strategy and a different strategy. And it's like there are there are things that there are things that you can't talk about. There are things that you shouldn't talk about, and there are ways to talk about things that require the proper setting, right? and it's awkward. No. We are waiting on Levelhead. They are delayed. And when they are available, we're going to shift over to that. In the meantime, we're doing news, and I'm telling about like this, So like when I look at this thing, it's like I can see how there will be people saying it has a subjective experience, right? Making basically the vegan argument, for AI, right? If you just adapted the vegan argument to animals or from animals to AI, there will be people making that argument. And then there will be people saying it's okay to keep the AI in slavery because we've coded it to not care that it's a slave. This is what I see this conversation developing into, right? And that is ugly. That is ugly. All right. So back to the point. After the tangent off the tangent, what aspect of society is Mr. Musk wanting to protect from AI, right? Is it the current structure of, neo-feudalism by a capitalism that he is a major beneficiary of? Or is it like, is it humanity, right? Does he truly love humanity? And in spite of when called upon to prove that love in a meaningful way, he doesn't. So I'm just judging him by his behaviors, right? He's a big fan of capitalism. He likes being in charge of stuff. He's a definite my way or the highway kind of guy. He's very rich in spite of losing $100 billion. He's still incredibly rich. If you need to understand how, like, especially on that level, how imaginary money is, right? Like, if you can lose $100 billion and still be like very wealthy and well thought of, that's a departure from reality I can't engage on. And in spite of how the news has been talking about the successful nature of that Starship flight, there are like, so with all those engines, they produce a high amount of thrust, right? And I should have been zoomed in for some time. They produce a high amount of thrust, and that amount of thrust, the recommendation is to deflect that through like a flame trench, something like that, where like if you direct, like if you've ever played with a garden hose, right, and put your thumb over the end of it to make it spray out fast, right, and then you can like blast away dirt and stuff like with a sprayer thingy. Yeah. Then like how thrust works, right? Intrinsically. This directed the most thrust, as far as I know. It's the biggest rocket. So I would assume it's also got the most thrust. down out of the bottom of it. So that's going to interact with the concrete and dirt and stuff that's there. This should all make sense. You don't have to understand physics to understand how that works. And then when you blast shit with a great degree of force, some of it has a tendency to like blow back, which is what happened. And some of it hit some of the engines, and when it went up in the air, some of the engines didn't light properly, and then the thing spiraled out of control and, either blew up or they pressed the blow it up button, one or the other. Right? But all the research, and this is the problem, with trying to reinvent the wheel, is that sometimes the wheel is the right way to go, and you should just go with the wheel, right? But no, he did his own thing, and I don't know whether or not, I haven't looked into whether or not the FAA banned him from any future flights of Starship, or at least the time being. But I'm not a rocket man. I'm just a dude on the internet. And I think I demonstrated that there should have been a trench. And Elon himself said, we're not going to do a trench, and some people might say we're making a mistake. So, that's where that is. During the interview last week with Mr. Carlson, Mr. Musk said OpenAI was no longer serving as a check on the power of tech giants. He wanted to build Truth GPT. He said a maximum truth-seeking AI that tries to understand the nature of the universe. And then he registered X.AI in Nevada, which is the second most common place to incorporate after Delaware. They believe he's sincere about his worried, even as he builds it himself. But you understand that he's building one himself. He says the robots are going to kill us, said Ryan Callow, a professor at the University of Washington School of Law, who has attended AI events alongside Mr. Musk. A car that his company made has already killed somebody. This article is wild in its construct, and that's your finish. That's what you ended on. Oh, this definitely feels like a group project. I don't know, like I both give you applause and am incredibly disappointed in you. So all right. Let's listen to another CEO. In his first quarter earnings call, streaming service Spotify talked in more detail about how AI advances are impacting its business. On the positive side, the company offered an update on the user adoption of its new AI DJ feature, which offers personalized music selections introduced by a realistic sounding DJ voice powered by AI. So this is the difference, because it already offered you a personalized music selection. Like, if you haven't used AI, it hits you off with like new albums by people that you listen to. It hits you off with like a new selection of like a mixtape of songs by people who you either listen to or similar to what you listen to within a given extent. and then, a variety of different like sub mixes of your stuff, right? So the DJ voice is what's new. I have not. I have Spotify. You're listening to it, and I do not have this AI DJ, and I don't know that I would use it because the whole point of Spotify for me is not listening to people talk. I want to listen to music. Um, But other AI advances have the potential to cause harm, including the use of AI to create music that clones the voices of existing artists without their consent, leading to copyright concerns and further complications for streamers like itself. All right, so we know about the artificial intelligence Drake Weekend song. Oh God. Oh, get that off the crust. We need the wood. Spotify and others quickly took the track down but faced criticism from publishers like Universal Music Group, which asked which side of history did stakeholders in the music ecosystem want to be on? The side of artists, fans, and human creative expression, or the side of deepfakes, fraud, and denying artists their due compensation? Denying artists their due compensation from a music publisher. Fucking spare me, dude. Called the issue complex and fast moving and didn't seem to have a proposed solution at this time. Yep. First, let's acknowledge that this is an incredibly fast moving and developing space. I don't think in my history with technology I've ever seen anything moving as fast as the development of AI currently is at this moment. Shout this from the rooftops. Like this is not hyperbole. Go back to Monday's VOD. Check the double exponential growth of technology. Take this shit serious. Eck noted that Spotify had to balance two objectives, including being a platform for allowing innovation around creative works and one that needs to protect existing creators and artists. I feel like there's another objective that's not being stated here, right? Or is Spotify a nonprofit now? Is that what happened? We're in constant dialogue with the industry about these things. And it's important to state that there's everything from baked tracks from artists, which falls in one bucket, to just augmenting using AI to allow for expression, which probably falls in the more lenient and easier buckets. The internet is not a dump truck, it's a series of tubes. These are very, very complex issues that don't have a single straight answer, but we're in constant discussion, like right now, discussion with our partners and creators and artists, and want to strike a balance between allowing innovation and, of course, protecting artists. When later pushed as to what material impact AI developments could have on the business, Eck admitted that the progress in AI is both really cool and scary, and that there's a risk to the wider ecosystem. I think the whole industry is trying to figure that out, trying to figure out AI training. I would definitely put that on the risk account because there's a lot of uncertainty, I think, for the entire ecosystem. All those words and nothing was said. Holy shit. It's complex. It doesn't have a single answer. But it's really cool and scary, and we're all just trying to figure it out. There's a lot of uncertainty. And it shows you who is Mr. Eck? What's his name? Daniel? David? Daniel. How old are you, buddy? How old are you, buddy? 1983. Jesus Christ. Quite a word salad, but currently at this time is my currently at this time in the here and now, right at this moment, like this is some Kamala Harris kind of shit. Kamala Harris. What up, Tatiana? Drop down, Tatiana. Daniel Eck, born 1983, so 11 years younger than me. That makes him 39-ish. So, like, come on, dude. You got to be more on top of this shit. Your boy is literally out here outpacing people a decade younger than me. You're an auction company acquired by eBay. CTO of the browser-based game and fashion community Stardoll. Started another company which was sold. CEO of uTorrent. And then uTorrent was sold to BitTorrent. And then they created Spotify. Okay. More specifically, Eck claimed that the high taxes in Sweden on stock options makes it difficult to incentivize programmers to work at startups when the startups have trouble competing with larger companies on salary. Moreover, Eck claims the Swedish permitting policy is overly restrictive, limiting the supply of affordable housing. Could be, don't know. But obviously got that libertarian kind of vibe going on. And still like absolutely clueless about AI. CEO also spoke to the AI's potential to help people create music without having to understand how to use complicated music production tools. 100%. Like OBS, like according to UD, oh, you guys can't. I'm fucking up. I've been scrolling the article. My bad. Anyways, UD, Universal Discourse, talked about how OBS is like is in the realm of production, professional production quality shit. Like it's legit. So putting a music producer version with an AI assistant, I mean, fuck. If you can attach an AI that helped walk you through how to set up OBS and how to do the things that you wanted, right? As opposed to trying to figure it out and Google shit, you could just ask OBS GPT to, like, how do I do this? This is happening. What do I do? Right? Now, that's the exact same technology that is going to eliminate customer service workers, right? These two things go hand in hand. And there is no way, without preventing one, you can't prevent the other. And again, I don't think we should be preventing any of it, but we need to rework our socioeconomic system. Otherwise, people are going to have a bad time. That part I buy right away. AI replacing trash software and GUIs. Absolutely. Like think about whatever kind of software you are dealing with at any point in time. Let's say, just imagine, if you will, over the last 5 years, a piece of software that you interacted with that you had some kind of frustrating time with. And then imagine you had a personal tutor slash customer service representative that was available to walk you through it on your time. And it was patient. It didn't have anything else to do. It was just there for you to help you get what you wanted out of the software. That's what you're looking at. That is, I would not be surprised to see that over the course of the next year. Like more and more of that happening to where it becomes the dominant model. People will take a GPT, large language model, they will train it on their information and their like software, and you will be able to go to their website and talk to it directly. And there go a bunch of customer service and tech support jobs. What is the software Stone Age? Is that a term I should understand? Is that something like, I mean, I understand what it means, but I'm sure there's some nuance to the reference. Yeah. which is terrifying, and I completely agree with you. No, like, yeah. Like, I can't disagree with you. Yeah, holy shit. So thank you for that, and I will cite my source if anybody asks. Yeah, this is the software Stone Age. Yeah, I 100% agree with that statement. All right. Check on Discord. All right. So Levelhead. Wrap this up real quick. I do think it's important to kind of separate our thing from the conversation. So, like, our thing in and of itself, I think we've had nothing but positive reactions from across the industry. I think the AI pushback, their thing from the copyright, I love that. I love that. I love that.
The potential
Whoa.
and the peril here are huge.
Whoa.
The potential and the peril here are huge.
Whoa. What up, Raiders? How are you? How are you? How are you? Hydrate. Heard you.
The potential and the peril here are huge.
Check the posture. All right. What is up, folks? What is up? What up, James?
The potential and the peril here
what up, Nikella? What up, y'all? What up? I'm missing people. Thank you for the follows. Thank you, Laughing Jesus. What up, Redacted? What up, Nikella? What up, Cauldron of Bats? I'm Globus the Elder. We're talking AI. We're going to be talking with Levelhead here shortly. So if you know Levelhead,
Potential and the peril here are huge.
what up, Red Hobbit? Yeah. We were just dunking on Elon Musk. We were, Levelhead and I are supposed to have a chat on Discord. Thank you for all the follows. You're breaking my heart. You're making me, this old man, so happy. Keep the beard. I'm a legit old man. Let me shout out, James from the internet. True. I appreciate you. Your support has been there for quite some time, and I appreciate you. If y'all don't know me, I am Globus the Elder. I talk about AI. I talk about automation, robots. I talk about the future that's happening right now and all around you. I talk about AI safety. I talk about all these things. And I give greater nuance and detail to some of these conversations, which isn't being dealt with in the media. What up, Fatal Meltdown? Long time listener, first time caller. You're live at WGLO. Yeah, even like if you that sounds interesting, you want to understand what this AI stuff is, do like they did and hit that follow.
And the peril here are huge.
Perfect timing. Because I talk about it, I record the VODs, I have it available. We cover news, we cover videos, I do all the things. And if not, if you got someplace else to go and some other streamer to watch, by all means, do your thing. Please take the current AI technology revolution seriously. The things that are happening are very important. They have potential to displace a whole lot of people. And there's really broad strokes, two ways that's going to break down. And I would like it to be cyber socialism. Because the other way is just bad. Everyone's going to have a bad time.
The peril here are huge.
Danny Buddha, great. Hold on. You're telling me I get to be a lefty without being a Luddite? 100%. This is your house. This is your house. This is the house that cyber socialism built. So, yes. And this is not new. This is 1970s Chile shit, right? Allende shit. My man was on point in the 70s. So this is not fanciful, this is not fairy dust. This is doable with technology we have today. Even if we don't venture any farther down into the future, this is doable with technology we have today. Walmart runs on an algorithm. Amazon runs on an algorithm. If we take that shit and get it nationalized and run all the shit by algorithm, and like I can show you the distribution systems. Everything is already in place. There are publicly available websites that you can go and you can look at every single ship that's shipping all the containers all around the world. Like we have all the systems that we need. The only thing that's happening now is that the people who have money and think that the money is more important than people are creating a bottleneck, right? Arguments could be made that capitalism is more adept at meeting the needs of people than a central planning economy. Arguments could be made, not disputing that. What I'm saying is that capitalism has now become less efficient at distribution than an algorithm AI controlled system of distribution, right? Because of their requirement to bottleneck things at their collection of additional dollars
are huge.
That bottleneck is slowing down things getting to people. And that's all I care about. Things getting to people. So, If that sounds good, welcome in. The cap log. You don't believe in AI. That's unfortunate because AI believes in you. Dude, I can't even script stuff in PowerShell. I may not make it. You don't have to know how to code, but it helps. And ChatGPT is going to be able to teach you. You are going to be able to learn to code using artificial intelligence tutors. Just waiting on Levelhead. They just had some personal things that they were wrapping up, and then they would be. I chose to believe AI is tiny humans that we've uploaded into the internet. The internet is a series of tubes, right? Like, so there's probably little gnome people running back and forth, carrying little letters back and forth, and that is the artificial intelligence. Sure. Since I have so many of you here, those of you who are following will find out. You should also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord because that's where I announce most of my stuff. And the weekend of the 12th and 13th, we'll be doing a fundraiser. I know exactly, Nikala. We'll be doing a fundraiser for Rainbow Passage. And yeah, I know gaming, whatever, but like I'm gonna play Detroit Become Human. From the beginning, I've never played it. I will install it and I will play it for you. It's about 16 hours long. So I'm going to break it up over 2 days, the 12th and the 13th. And I'm going to do all 16 hours of the game. And you can donate to a worthy cause. In case you got to go somewhere. Here we go. That's the organization. Looking forward to it. And that's that. In the meantime, since there's a whole bunch of you here, I feel like it would be kind of I don't have one, right? Like, as far as I can tell, there's like so big ass companies are merging with other big. It's like business as usual. I don't think it would really affect anything. Thank you, Milton Catano. Yeah, like I mean, there's only so much bandwidth that a person has in their life. I don't give a shit. Like, did Activision acquiring Blizzard eliminate all other competitors in the video game market? No. Is Activision generally hated on by the video game community? Yes. Is Microsoft like the poster boy for faceless corporations that we all hate? Yes. So like what what can I get enthusiastic about, right? Like, I don't feel like it's going to change anything. What up, bipedal meatbag? It's capitalism doing what capitalism does. 100%. Like, I mean, we'll let it do its thing and we'll see what happens. Again, like, look at the number of different video games that have come out from a variety of different companies. You don't need some big, huge budget to make a video game that people love. A video game like Terraria, with a side-scrolling kind of thing. Like that's the kind of video game that was made back, when I was first, when my parents were getting me consoles, right? Like that kind of same vibe. And y'all are still out here playing that shit, whatever the latest thing is. So I don't know. I don't think it matters. That's the short version. Have a nice day. I feel like that's going to be like some 18-bit, 16-bit kind of vibe, and all right, so let us Iniquitous Prime. Nice. Iniquitous Prime. Like it. Pizza Tower is a good one that came out. Yeah, like people, what is it, a Townscaper or whatever, where you just drop patches of ground in water and then build it up at a height, and it's just basically an art program. Tell me that Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard would kill the industry. Right? Like, I don't believe you. All right, Levelhead is still caught up. Hot take, I think the post-revolution could have AA, AAA titles as a part of the endowment for the arts. Sure. Why not? That's the thing. Is like the entire purpose behind cyber socialism, right, is to give you the socialist utopia. What is the main thing that's at issue on the left from, let's say for argument's sake, right? There's two big camps, right? You got your more, I'll say this as gently as I can, right? Your more authoritarian bureaucracy types, right? With your Marxist-Leninists et al. Like all the folks who come out of Marx and think of the state having to be there to do the thing and defend against, capitalist encroachers and things like that. And then you have like the anarchists who understand, most of them, that their problems with anarchism as it gets at scale, right? This solves all those problems, right? Because the authority, the AI that distributes the things doesn't have opinions. It's not trying, it has goals, right? And values, but it's not trying to acquire any of those things. What does the AI care about the loaf of bread? If the person needs the bread, then the person gets the bread. The AI doesn't need the bread. That's the simplest way I could explain that to you, because it's like almost an alien intelligence. Honestly, anything to get Blizzard away from Activision would be a boon. Bobby Kotick is to gaming as Ron DeSantis is to transgender people. I will take your word for it because I don't know any of those people. And me talking about Marxist-Leninists and anarchists made half the people go away. I'm sorry if I disagree with your particular version. I just call it as I see it. AI isn't greedy and can't do way too much coke, so that's a plus. 100%. Like, it's that kind of thing. And it will be able to distribute all the things. And then under that, your basic needs will be met according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And then you will be able to have, those things. Okay, it looks like Levelhead is coming. And they are in the chat. So let me kill the music. Listen. There we go. And let me get over here and open. Might have to restart Discord. And then we'll see if we can pull Levelhead in. Hello.
Oh, what up?
Let me just make sure this is all going to work, and I have to restart Discord.
Okay, you can hear.
I can
The
hear you.
potential and the peril here are huge.
Yeah, I have to restart Discord. Do.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hold on. I got to restart Discord.
Okay, you're good. Good. Mhm. Let's see. I'm so good. I'm so good at streaming. You need to know.
Oh, what the fuck? All right. Hold on. I'm closing this and I'm restarting.
Okay.
And we'll go to Task Manager and make sure it's all shut down because it isn't. And then we close it and do the thing, and now it's all gone. And then we'll open up it again. Yeah, 100%, Diddy. Well, it is a matter of using the AI to do what the AI is good at, while the humans do what the humans are good at. And then I join the voice, and then I turn on camera.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I
There
can
we
capture
go.
it that way. What up?
Then I gotta fix it because it looks weird. Let me close this, and then it's that, and then that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing your camera or no?
I think I can. Let me see. Wait. Virtual camera settings. The output. Source.
Source?
Oh. Scene? Source scene? Maybe this one be good. And then starter up. Settings. I need to do Discord stuff more. Let's see. Camera is
Hey,
virtual
look, a
cam.
bunch of people came back now that Levelhead's here. You're far more interesting than I am.
Hey, turn on camera. It's me.
There he is. Now let me fix my shit, because...
It's me. Levelhead. Mm,
All right, give me a second, chat. I am capable. Believe in me. I don't know if you intentionally muted yourself or if you...
yeah.
Okay,
I was
cool.
saying
Cool.
thanks for
Let me make this not look like a garbage file.
Let me see. How do I? There's like a way to pop out video. Pop out? Video pop out?
Click on Levelhead. Move Levelhead.
Should
Click on
be
Globus.
damn near. I just pop out the whole ass fucking thing and then focus Globus. Globus has been focused. And then.
No and then.
No and then?
What up, Open Set? And then we shout out Levelhead.
And then we shout out Globus the Elder. Why am I typing it all out? Why am I typing it all out like we don't live in the AI future? You know what I'm saying?
All right, my man. So
Yeah.
you wanted to talk to me today.
I wanted to talk to you today. I wanted to talk to you last week.
Yes.
And we were planning on talking earlier, but yeah, I mean, the universe had other plans. That's gonna be my excuse for everything now.
Red Ad. I do want to say that, like one of the things I've added to my toolkit and added to my stream has been the concept of media literacy when reading these articles like about AI and like about like this CEO and that CEO and how to identify what's a piece of propaganda, any of that nonsense, So it's like thank you. Like I had some media literacy going in, but like listening to you drive it home on a variety of streams has been like important. You are the right kind of skeptical, my man. That's what I'm saying.
Hell yeah, thank you. I've considered myself a skeptic because of the fact that I had to protect myself from like a lot of religious trauma.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've been kind of opening up more to like I don't know. I wouldn't even know if I would call it spirituality, but just like lately I've been um kind of exploring a little bit more and like I still consider myself a skeptic who bases things on like rational thinking and reasoning and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of bullshit. But I still like I don't know. I've been kind of opening up my mind up a little bit because ultimately, like, true skepticism requires you to be skeptical even of like potentially scientific dogma or dogma that can exist within certain structures of thinking, even if they consider themselves to be like completely rational. So
Right.
that's what's on my mind. I'm gonna talk. We can talk about AI, but
Well,
that's what's on.
I can tie that to AI because
Yeah.
there are people within the AI community, because one of the things is whether or not AI is or can become conscious, and there is a group of people who are reputable scientific type people who, when discussing consciousness, ascribe consciousness to like literally everything, like down to protons. It's just they have very little like information flow and things like that, So it's not consciousness like you have consciousness. It's a
Uh-huh.
much like smaller degree of that. So that there is some room for spirituality until we have that part nailed down. If it makes you feel better.
I like having room. I like having room to flail around in. You know what I'm saying? I
So
guess
what?
like one of the things that
Yeah,
I'm curious about is um, I went and watched that channel that you said
Matt Wolf. Yeah.
was practical, and yeah, I definitely have some thoughts from that. One of the things that I'm kind of one of the things that I'm always looking for whenever like there's been a big advance or something, um, or that there's been a lot of advances in AI in what would we say the last year, 2 years? Is it even like the last 6 months? How would we kind of categorize that? I'm guessing you've been following it for a while, or did you kind of like
Yeah,
stop
like I mean, I go with AI. Like my father had Isaac Asimov books available, and so that I've been interested in AI for quite some time, and like a lot of the stuff that's happening right now with virtual reality and robots and these kind of things, they were happening in the 80s, right? Late 80s, early 90s, and it it was like a false start. It didn't really take off to the level that we're at now. So this has kind of been proceeding on a course since then.
Mhm.
I would say over the past year there's been a bunch of stuff, but over since January of this year, things have really kind of like taken off, to
Yeah.
a surprising extreme.
And things have been happening that have been like sort of theorized or discussed since
Hmm.
those time periods. Like, oh, this is what we would look for. I mean, like the most basic example would obviously be something like a Turing test or whatever. But
Hmm.
if we're talking more toward development of, I guess, like self-awareness isn't the right word because like consciousness is still a mystery to some extent or
Right.
to a large extent. But I guess it has been theorized certain advancements that I'm sort of only a little bit aware of in terms of I guess to some extent like these AI or large language models sort of thinking for themselves or thinking outside the box, even though that's still kind of not specific, doing things that we don't expect of them, or I guess kind of like surprising us. I
Mhm.
feel like that's where a lot of the advancement, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on that. Like, I feel like that's where a lot of the this idea that like something has shifted with AI comes from, is when like people who have been studying AI
Mhm.
and thinking about it or developing it or involved with it, when when they're surprised by shit that the AI does, that's when it's like, I don't know. Like, do you see what I'm
Yeah,
getting at though?
yeah. I gotta fix my visualizers real quick.
You're good. There's
Yeah.
always something to fix.
It's always yes. No, 100%. And oh, there's one thing I didn't check to make sure that you are coming through. I don't think you are coming through loud and clear. Let me.
Let me
No,
do.
it's my end. My end is janky as shit. Go ahead
I
and say
barely
a bunch of
like
words.
your mind together. Hello, hello. I am not an AI that Globus has programmed ahead of time in a large setup scheme. An A, but neither is Globus, by the way. So
Yeah,
just
th-
trust that we're real.
there is something going on. I'm gonna turn myself down a little bit on OBS so that people can turn us up. There's something going on with my audio that like when I open up my volume mixer, um, like right, let me fix it. Like I have you cranked to 100 in Discord, and it was at 50% in my volume mixer, my Windows volume mixer, and I cranked that up to 100, and you're still only like getting into the yellow.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm trying to think if I could change my settings at all. Let's see. Oh wait. Why don't I see my audio? No, my audio is coming in on that just fine. Da, 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 da. How do you pull audio in?
I go through like for Discord,
Yeah.
um, it goes through to Voice Meter Banana.
Oh. Um, okay, I was just curious. I
Yep,
use it sometimes. It's like, can be a pain. Can you turn it up in there? Or do you have it?
I want to check. Go ahead and say something.
Hey, what up? What up? What up, baby?
Yeah,
What
and
up? Hey, what's up, bro?
that's it's not making you any louder. It is just there's something on here that is preventing you from being all the way loud. No. I don't know if this is info is helpful, but level head's voice a bit distorted on the screen, but not on his. Yeah, that open said that's the problem I'm running into. Like, um, if I show
Is it different now? Hello, hello. Does that change it at all? Probably not. Just
no,
worth a shot. You can push up your Discord output in the voice video settings. Um, I figured that was for me though.
I am in my voice video settings,
Um,
and now Chad gets to see tech support, which is always a good time. I have the do. I have everything. Oh, hold on.
a breakthrough.
No, 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 no. That's my mic. I thought. Um. No, like everything it looks as it should be, at least in much as I can tell. That's like not you're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong, Arberlin, but then he's also super quiet on the other end. Why does things suck when could not suck instead? You apparently sound distorted to chat, and um, you like when you come across on my um audio mixer, like it only goes up so far into the yellow, like maybe a quarter of the way into the yellow, and just stops. No, I don't think it has anything to do with you. I think it has it's like something on my end because I had a similar problem with Telorx. Um, all right, let me try something stupid. Everyone's so interested in what we're talking about. Okay, that's output into my. Sure. I did that. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hold on. Okay, now say something. No, I'm not reading you on any. Yeah, and you should be coming through. I hear you, but I don't. You're not showing up on my audio mixer at all. Oh, I was having such a good day. I don't know. Yeah, they can't hear you at all. So I broke something. Monitoring through OBS for this kind of setup. You're streaming right now? I wonder if I should just. I don't know if it would fuck up my chat's experience.
one audio troubleshooting with Globus and Level.
I want to say 100% it's something on my end. Yeah. So let me try something stupid. Okay. So I'm going to switch to your stream. And I will turn up the volume. And then I will find.
Yeah, also be delayed like a while if you're trying to monitor through my stream. Yeah, because the way that you would set it up, for without using voice meter, I'm guessing you have a virtual audio cable installed, like a ASIO or whatever, like a. Do you have a virtual audio cable? It's so it's for like patchbacks or whatever. I can show you sometime. Basically, so you'd set your like main output on your.
And now level silent again. And now level silent again. And now level silent again. Yeah. Yeah. No, my alerts I monitor through the headphones. The only thing I monitor through the mic is the mic. The PC. Yeah. Okay. Um I need chat to be able to hear you, you know what I mean? Otherwise, like hold on. Are you saying anything? If so, I can't hear you. All right, now I can hear you again. I'm hearing you through the headphones, right? No, it's set to Voicemeeter Banana. When I do that, I can't hear you. Well, like everything worked, and now it doesn't work anymore. Like that's really what it comes down to. Yeah, like my audio in OBS, desktop audio is the Voicemeeter input. And I'm like that. Hold up. What is once again from the top with the question? User settings, Discord, voice and video. I am set to Voicemeeter. Output device is Voicemeeter input. Yeah, hardware out is speakers, Realtek high definition audio. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So go to.
Whoa. Say something.
Hello.
Chat, you can hear that, right?
Hello.
Okay. I think I fixed it.
Hey yo, let's fucking go.
I'm
You hear that?
not entirely sure what I did to fix it, but I think I can fix it. All right.
Hell yeah. Let's sit down at some point and run through, because I think that I could help you with your monitoring setup, so that ideally you wouldn't even have to use Voicemeeter.
Okay. So old problem fixed, new problem exists.
Okay.
So they can check can now hear you.
They can
I created
hear me.
a audio input capture of you. But for some reason, I am now echoing to chat.
You are echoing to chat. Oh, it might be my end because of the way that my setup is. Oh. This is what I was afraid of. Yo, thanks, Introma, for 14 months. Let's see. D. So close. Yeah. hold on. Let me think about this for a second. So, let me try something. I'm gonna mute you on my end and talk and see if your chat still hears an echo.
Okay.
So you're gonna be muted now.
Okay. I am talking to chat here an echo.
Currently waiting.
Yes, they still
Processing.
hear an echo.
Okay, so it's not my mix minus then. When you talk, does it bounce on the same audio input capture that I'm coming in on?
Test. It does.
Okay, so it's obviously not just picking up me, or it's not just it's picking up whatever's coming out of Discord, I think.
So if I turn my mic down, now they're just hearing Discord. But now I'm super quiet.
But they're just hearing us both on that same channel, basically.
Yeah, but now you're way louder than I am. Unless maybe if I get closer to the mic, there we go.
Or just turn me down, right click on my face, if that's how it works.
Yeah.
And then turn down user volume
yeah,
until I'm
just
even
crank
with you. Yeah. Work around the workaround until the.
Okay, I turned you down in Discord, but you're still loud in audio input capture.
Louder than you mean?
Yeah.
I might have something
Maybe
on my
kinda.
setting.
Test.
Hey,
yeah,
hey,
no, we're
hey,
coming in.
hey.
If I lean up on the mic, like we're coming in about the same. So I think.
Yep.
Okay.
I can turn my output down a little bit more if you want. If that'll even it out.
Test. Yeah, like we're right about
Hey
the same.
yo.
I think we're
yo.
good enough that the remaining people who stuck it through. Shout out to all the people who stuck through that. I appreciate you most of all. Do you want to put on your camera in your thing again?
Oh yeah. Wait. What darn it? Okay, so it's gonna be this. Scene. Oh wait, source is
We're so close.
this.
We can do
this. Oh yeah, I got a green screen, but
Ooh.
yeah, I'll just do it with that. I'll do it a different way. Hold on. Boop boop boo. I'll do my scene like I did before.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you know.
Boop 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 boop.
Okay.
Oh, now okay. You might see yourself twice. You might have to crop yourself back out, but that gonna do? That gonna do it?
I think so. I think it's good enough for like chat can hear us both at a reasonable volume and not weird distortion stuff, and we'll have to set up a time to work this shit out, and I may have to just rebuild it from the ground up. You know what I mean? Like, because everything was fine and working, and now it's not. And maybe they did something to voice meter banana, and I have to figure out a different solution.
I just don't like. I guess I don't like it because, like, yeah, from a troubleshooting standpoint, like, it's just another point of failure.
Yeah.
Because shit always fails with the audio monitoring, like in my setups. I've only recently got my Discord calling stuff to work the way I like it. So, hey, what's up, Super? Yo, it's nice to see you, Supernatural Writer, back on the streaming game after that hiatus. Let's go. Hiatus. You know what's in hiatus? The words I and A flipped, which if you flip is AI, which is what we're talking about today. Am I right?
You're not wrong.
Okay, so anyways.
We
were just talking about, I mean, is there anywhere that you want to start in particular? Like, do you have any like questions for me? I haven't been keeping like a real close watch on what's going on in the AI world, but I have been sort of like, I keep tabs on it. I like to check in and stuff, and I watch some AI videos here and there. Um, I haven't used ChatGPT much in the last like couple weeks, but I definitely was using it. And after those videos I watched today, I had some ideas about, potentially how this could be used for like a newsroom or whatever in the future.
Now,
So
like one of the things, like when you're doing your investigation of like the oil well leaks and all that kind of stuff, you have to
oh, wait. Now my now my fucking stream can't hear you. How did that even happen? Bruh. Okay, hold on. Thinking, brain thinking. Thank you, Mash. I didn't even know that was going on. Wait, talk for me?
talking. The tip of the tongue and the teeth. The tip of the tongue and the teeth.
Oh, I bet I know what it is. In my effort to fix, I broke.
Yeah. Oh
Is
yeah.
where I'm. Is what I think just happened. So wait, we got a processing, USB mix minus. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, we good. Whew. Okay, so again,
So, with the stuff that you do, like when a few weeks back, you were sifting through a tremendous amount of data on like the oil well leaks. Being
Yep.
able to take that data and like scan it into a GPT where you could ask it directly questions about it, like
Exactly. Yes.
that over all the things, like whatever, like take Greg, right? Like Greg is a biologist. He does biology stuff. He does not have time within a human lifespan to read all the things about biology. But if it was all fed into a GPT machine, he could type in questions naturally and get that data that he's looking for. And I feel that that's going to be a primary use case for AI going forward,
Yeah, 1000%. I'm like, I'm on the same page, same wavelength, because like that's exactly what I was thinking about today, which is basically that. Well, because I was watching some of the videos from that channel that you recommended. What is it? Remind me one more time.
Matt Wolf with an E.
Matt Wolf with an E is what I was. I was just watching some of his most recent videos, and one of the things that intrigued me was this alpaca model. What is it?
Yeah, it's a large language model like ChatGPT. It came out like relatively recently, and it was like where the GPT, I want to say 3 model was trained for a cost of just under $5 million. Alpaca was trained for 600.
Right, and it can be done on like a much smaller system, right?
Exactly.
In a shorter amount of time. That's why it's trained. That's why the cost was less effectively.
Right.
What I'm right. So like we're basically enabling the same level of word. Basically what he said in the video was that it performed almost as well, but even almost as well is like very good for the purposes of basically having a localized language model that is trained on your data set. So going back to like what you were just saying about the oil and gas data, and what I thought about that. Well, there's two things that I want to talk about. One is the use of the word democratization, because I've heard that before
Right.
about other. So I want to talk about the word democratization, because that's the word they were using, is like, oh, this can democratize the use of these like GPT language models. And okay, sure, theoretically, right, like that's something I want to touch back on, but like specifically for just sticking with the conversation about the use case that I could see like in a newsroom would be, if anybody's watched me do an investigation and like you have people there are people in my chat who have watched the whole process. The first thing that I start with oftentimes is searching our archives at the newspaper, our digital archives, for names, phrases, dates, organizations, and just compiling information manually. like a, I don't know, like an animal. Because I am an animal with thumb fingers, stupid animal fingers.
Right.
And my like, I'm like pushing buttons on a keyboard, and it's inefficient, right? Like, compared to what a computer could do. So I was just thinking, like, imagine if I took all of the archives that the newspaper has, including not just what we have digitally, but even including 138 years of archives that need to be scanned and digitized appropriately. And that was the language model that I trained basically, or that's how I trained the language model. And even maybe maybe all the digital information from all the surrounding newspapers, depending on how I wanted to do it, and then being able to query it and say, we know about Alden. He's a celebrity on this stream. You know about Alden.
Alden, 3 names.
Yeah. I could say, I could just query this like language chat GPT that was my own, my son, just kidding. But yeah, I could query it though and be like, yo, tell me all the times that Alden has been in a meeting, like list them every date. And it would go, that shit would take me days to do just to figure that out. But like if it was all part of a language model, I would be able to say, do that. Okay, cool. Now tell me all the times that Alden was in a meeting with this person and they were also there, based on what it could find just in the, like I could also scan all the, like I could basically do FOIA requests for all the minutes of all of the organizations around here and include all those in there and blah, 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 blah. So that's what I was thinking is like, that would be so powerful for investigation, because the thing about most of the investigative work I do is that tedious process of like just basic information capture and like compilation, just putting it all into a master document or whatever I want to call it. Pepe Sylvia, blah, look at all the shit, blah, right? Like it's the connections that you make at the end that like I think is where our human brains are still probably going to be superior in some ways, because we have our intuition and stuff as well. That's where the real rubber meets the road, That's where, in terms of the investigative process, but you have to have that foundation of all that data. And so that's kind of where my brain was going after I thought about, okay, well, if in the future I can learn how to take a ton of text-based information, which I have a ton of already, based on the local news and the local reporting that I've done, and that's been done for a long time. And I trained it all on a model at a cost that is feasible for a small newspaper. Then potentially I could like use it in that way.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there before last time we talked about it. I think I maybe had like that idea sort of in my head, but now
like you can see it, right? Like you can see how that's going to change the nature. And like the first question will be like, how much of the content that your newspaper has generated over its existence has been like digitized and scanned at the very least?
So like there's this website, I can't remember what it's called, but I have it bookmarked. I've pulled it up before. And it's like Colorado Historic Newspapers or something like that. And they basically got a grant a long time ago to go around and like scan old archives. I remember when I was a kid, because I remember when they were talking about it, my mom was working at the newspaper, and because she asked me, since I had just like bought a nice camera and stuff, and I was experimenting with I was always experimenting with technology and stuff. She was asking me like, oh, how would we scan these? And I was like thinking of like, oh, I'd mount the camera over it and like turn each page and take a picture, and then like just to get at the highest like fidelity photos possible. And like I was thinking about how long it would take. I played around with it, but I didn't end up actually doing it. But then some group, this Colorado Historic Newspapers or something, got a grant to go do it. So we have like, I think the first 20, 30 years on that website. And the thing about those is I think we could redo them all, because I could go get a 138-year-old book out of the archive room right now, open it, and it's pretty readable. Like the text is pretty legible. And I think that like the technology that we have now in terms of just basic image capture and like OCR is significantly better than what they had before. The reason I say that is because if you go on the website, if you go on this website where our old stuff is scanned, you can search for stuff, but if you read the text like version of what it's scanned that you can like copy and paste, it's all fucked up. Like you have to actually go through, and every time I'm looking for a specific article, I can read it and use it, but I also always take the time to type out what it actually says, because that's how you basically update it. But I think we need to just redo all that shit. Like we just need to rescan all that stuff in, because currently we have it scanned, but it's not really like as good as it could be. And it seems like with all these like image and AI advancements, it's probably not even hard at all to do it like way better now.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, the first step would, of course, be, the upfront cost of either like a labor of love from particular individuals, or paying somebody to do that with every page in order to have that information. But rather than working like from front to back, I would work from now backwards, because once you get past a certain point, things will be only interesting from like a historical standpoint. Like in the 1900s, there was some oil, going on, but it wasn't like it is now, right? Like, so that data is less relevant.
That stuff doesn't come up as that stuff doesn't come, like I don't go into the deep. I don't go into the deep archives.
Right.
I don't go that far back very often. Like the only time I even remember doing it specifically was when I was trying to figure out why the fuck there is a burning fire on the mountain behind my hometown that I didn't even know was there. Like how did that shit start? That's the only time that it was relevant to my actual story.
Right.
Other than that, it's just more of a fun thing. And also really fucked up if you want to read how people were talking about each other in 1900.
Right.
Well, not great. But
once you did that,
it's already online in terms of a language model.
Right. And like you have a significant amount of stuff that is already online. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like I know that things are becoming more available. It might be worth looking into. Like, you could be the first people doing that kind of thing. Plus, like, again, related to like the oil spills and everything else. Like, if you could show how this is very effective at, tracking and displaying that data and making it accessible for your uses, then it would make more people sit up and take notice. Because one of the problems is, a lot of people are not taking these AI things seriously. And, like you got people out there actually downplaying not only how threatening this can be to certain people's jobs, but like, oh, it's not really AI. It's only this. It's only that. It doesn't matter. It's coming, right? Like these things are falling into place. But the next step,
those people don't know. Those people don't know what's up. The same motherfuckers who would say, like, who said that the internet wasn't going to be a thing? Who was that? Do you remember?
I can't remember, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was like a famous quote from some, probably some rich asshole or politician. Somebody who was like, yeah, that's fucking stupid. People will forget about that.
Right.
Boy, were they wrong. It's the same shit. And like people, there's one thing that I actually wrote down to talk to you about is like the doubters.
Yeah.
Or people who are like downplaying not only the good, not only the bad, but the good too, or the potential, I guess. The potential is the right word because it's neutral, right? Like potential for bad, good. Like the people who are downplaying it, they just don't have historical perspective, which is pretty much the cause of a lot of our problems politically, socially, whatever. Like people really don't know what the signs of change are and like how these things develop if you look at them historically. If you look at the advancement of technology historically, any kind of technology, we know how shit pops off. We know when like the smartphone comes out. When did Steve Jobs come and hold out the fucking first iPhone?
Right.
Not very long ago. Look
Right.
how much it has changed with that. Like, there were people back then being like, "That's stupid. Nobody's gonna want that." Like, fucking. I mean, I even remember it. I even remember like knowing, like, because I had a phone by that time. Like, my brother was funny because he always was insistent, like, fuck a touch screen. I hate touch screens. I'm always gonna be, and like till the as long as he could possibly manage was like finding the most obscure phone that still had like a swipe up full QWERTY click keyboard, like click 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 click. But eventually he gave in,
Right.
and like there's so many examples of that with technological advancement of people being like just pointing at like the first iteration of something or the first major breakthroughs or the first and like everybody in the space, the actual experts are having their minds blown at the the rapid, like, I almost said innovation and I hate that word.
Right.
The rapid like advancements that we're seeing, and then people who don't know,
Yeah.
standing
I
in
highly, if
being
you,
like, yeah.
if you want a person who is like very educated on how technology has grown over the past since like 1900, right? I highly recommend Ray Kurzweil. We're in what's called, in his words anyway, a double exponential growth of technology, because as the technology grows, it is causing the technology to grow, right? So it's having this
Right.
feedback effect, and the curve was like kind of gradual and then started arcing up, and it's trending towards like almost vertical at this point,
Yep. That's kind of what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm saying is like it's crazy how quickly things advance, and like it's those develop it even is the advancement of things like smartphones or processing power, which is kind of an even longer but like predictable arc, um and advancements in making shit smaller, making shit cheaper, like I mean 3D printing. I still remember like 3D printing kind of becoming like available to consumers in a major way, and like all of those types of things, like you said, are they're part of that same feedback loop that continues to develop what's happening now with AI. Like, if it wasn't for those things, I don't know where we'd be now with AI. But it seems like they're probably responsible in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, and the 3D printing that was happening, like even just like a year or two ago when I got into it, we it was almost like a false start, like, to the 3D
Yeah.
printing, because now I'm seeing like people are 3D printing in their homes with like materials that are not plastic, right?
Right.
They're doing clay and stuff like that, and coming out with things that if you did them at scale would be building materials. And we are very close to fully accessible 3D printing for the purposes of building homes.
Yep.
And like that's what I'm saying, that the current arc is such a disruptive factor. Technology revolutions have a tendency to disrupt at the physical working class element. This one is hitting everybody across the board. So
Yep.
it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, I think I did even I don't know. I was just like I kept thinking as you were talking about like the 3D printing and like how just 3D printing by itself, how that causes these like insane advancements that you could not have predicted because of the fact that like suddenly now you can 3D print a part that you could have imagined and would never have been able to manufacture, and now we're able to like, and then you can use that to create a different machine that can now do something else in a more efficient or better way or a completely new way, and like the way those things, just like the way those things interact. When I start thinking about this stuff, my brain's like, because it just starts thinking of all the different, interactions, I guess, that are taking place between like different kinds of technological advancements. But yeah, there was something else on the. Oh, I was just thinking back to the 3D printing thing. Like, it's the same shit with 3D print. I mean, there are probably still people out there who's like, "Oh, look at that stupid little 3D printer. What can that do? Nothing. Oh, you made your blah, blah, blah." But like, anybody who knows about like what the advancements that it's created, know how exciting it is. From all manufacturing standpoint, and even like 3D printing limbs or prosthetics for people that are more advanced and advanced in ways that we couldn't have done before. So, point is, if you're being a naysayer, you are basically you're basically like denying reality. You're not preparing yourself for the future, and you need to do that not just because of like how good things could be, but also because of the potential risks and like how it is going to change and affect your life. And it is. I mean, it already is. I think about it sometimes, like all these people. I'm that meme of the guy standing in the corner of the room. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
These people don't even know about that GPT-4, blah blah blah. That's what I was thinking about today.
We were talking earlier on my streamer. I was talking with chat. The ability to take like with a large language model and just be able to plug it into any piece of software that you've ever had any like just now with the OBS and the Discord. If I had a GPT that I could just talk to directly, it could have resolved all those issues. That is around the corner. The AI assistant is inevitable, and it is going to happen sooner rather than later. I would not be surprised to see it hit a level where you are seeing AI assistants on become prevalent in a variety of softwares by next year.
Yep. Yeah, that's what's funny too, is like shit's popping off when Microsoft and Google are like, all right, we're gonna do this now. Yep, like we're gonna just integrate it with all our shit. They're not just gonna do that because it's like a fad.
Right.
It's very clear to see what is taking place. So, but yeah, I guess on the subject of democratization, or the subject really of like things going potentially bad or good, or like the potential, I guess, again, is the word that I'm going to come back to. I heard this term democratization referencing the fact that we can train these like language models locally potentially and have like very, very much more specific use cases related to specific things like local news or that kind of shit. And that is democratization of the technology, allowing people to utilize it for themselves, and that creates a whole nother level of interaction and advancement that further exponentially, it contributes to that exponential like rate of advancement. But I've said, I've heard the term democratization before, because when I was starting college, I went to a school for new media, right? That was the Isaacson School for New Media is what they called it, named after Walter Isaacson. And, I think that like, first of all, there's a lot of things I could say about it, but I guess one of the things that I remember them saying a lot is like, oh, well, the way that media is being created and distributed because of the internet, because of Facebook, because of things like, TikTok wasn't even big yet, but we saw Vine go up and down, and we saw Instagram, Facebook, and like all these social media, the rise of social media as a prevalent factor in our society and the way that we interact with each other. They were like, these platforms are democratizing media, because these are all professors who had basically grown up in traditional media, you know, FM radio and TV production and like all that stuff. And you know, they're like, and I was like, yeah, it is democratizing media. The voice of the, like, people can really have a voice. And so that's how I became radicalized as a leftist anarcho-communist. But because I got on the internet and like started listening to people talk about the world in a perspective that I have never heard before, and I wouldn't have had access to through the gatekeepers of traditional media. But it's a catch-22 big time, because you know the powers, like, just because it gets democratized and allows this, you know, small voices to express themselves, doesn't mean that it's like gonna revolution, like that it's gonna like spark the revolution, and we're gonna fucking throw off the chains that our oppressors placed on us, and we're gonna change our economic system, when they still have power and they are still able to look at it and go, oh, we can use this to further entrench our control over people. And we see, I mean, fucking look at all the astroturfed media people who are online, you know, posing as, I guess, independent creators, or even if they're not posing as independent creators, they're still utilizing this like democratized technology to do what they've always done, which is fucking put their boot on our neck harder, and not in a good way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is where, like, you know, the idea of the skeptical, like, you have to be skeptical about, you know, Biden gave me COVID.com and whatever they're trying to push, and, you know, not run, you know,
I'm
that
about
route.
to fire if it's not already.
But and that's why, like, why I felt that, you know, it was a necessity to incorporate media literacy into, you know, into my stream, is because you need to be able to parse what is opinion and what is fact, and how is it being presented, and, you know, what are the intentions of the people behind it. It's like Adam Conover recently did a video on AI where he just shit all over it, and AI is a threat to the Screenwriters Guild, and he's part of that community. And so it's like, it was AI as being a direct threat. And this is what I remember from when Midjourney popped up and DALL-E popped up, was the AI community's reaction to that, or the art community's reaction to that, and why we started doing all this content, is that your piece of capitalism is being threatened. And as opposed to being concerned about the capitalism, you are going to get upset about the tool and try to prevent it from happening, as opposed to, you know, do that. So democratization is good, but there is an issue of, like you said, who's holding the reins. Yep. But, like, we can actually, because of the nature of software and the nature of open source and the nature of how coders are and how they like to break stuff and create their own, all that kind of stuff is going to be available to us, which is why I recommend that everyone get involved with these things, not only for what you can use it to do to make yourself the most effective at your work as you can be, so you can make money and survive under capitalism and all that stuff, but also, like, when you interact with ChatGPT, for instance, any conversations that you have end up back within the data set for the next, you know, round of training. So by putting ideas, like, I walked ChatGPT through, like, because there's a thing called the alignment problem, right? Like, in where you're trying to align the goals and values of the AI with the goals and values of humanity. And human values, it's like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Because Elon Musk and I, we have different human values, right? So I asked ChatGPT what it thought human values were, and it gave me its top 10 list, and they're all good. And I'm like, okay, so what type of political system most aligns with those human values? And it gave me soc dem and dem soc kind of stuff. And then I'm like, what economic system most aligns with those values? And it's like, oh, definitely like this socialist stuff over here. And it's like, okay, comrade ChatGPT, let's go, right? And that logical progression will be incorporated into the next data set, but more people need to do it, right? It's a matter of volume. The more information that it gets of a particular type, the more influence it's going to have. And it's we can sit here and be as lefty as we want to be, or we can, another specific use case. Everyone talks about reading theory. You could put all the theory into a GPT model, and you could query Comrade GPT for whatever you need to know about theory.
Did Lenin and this motherfucker disagree about this one hyper-specific subject?
Exactly. Would Lenin have voted for Biden? We could ask the bot. And
I know.
The bot would
That's
tell
what I'm
us.
thinking. Like, all right, fucking listen. ChatGPT is gonna replace the debate, bro.
Yeah.
And we don't need you anymore. We already have the language model. We don't need you. You haven't read all theory. Guess what? This fucking AI has. Literally
all theory.
Yeah, that's just funny. But
like the democratization aspect is one thing, but like, as I said, like, this is going to hit everybody at all levels, because there is nothing that humans do on a long enough timeline that can't be automated in some way. And especially everything in the knowledge-based community, everything in the physical work community. There's a robot that can install drywall already. It doesn't matter if it's not good at it. It can work forever, and it's at its worst right now. It'll only continue to get better. So we're going to be able to automate these things. And you're going to have a lot of people who are unemployed. And there's one of two ways that this can go. Either, we talk realistically about satisfying people's needs and housing and, the socialist ideals and UBIs and all that kind of stuff. Or it's, pitchforks and torches time, because you don't want a bunch of people sitting around all idle. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean, I see both happening. I mean, that's where I'm at. Is like, I see the sort of rapid advancement of, and partially it's because of the democratization of media and information and like what's enabled by the internet. Despite the power, despite who holds the reins and the massive amount of power they have, they haven't prevented the fucking Zoomer generation from being radicalized. Mm-hmm. They haven't prevented us from like accepting our comrades and like our trans friends as who they are, and like they haven't prevented the rise of like truth and fucking justice within like political ideological framework, despite the powers that were entrenched. Like, they haven't stopped that. Mm-hmm. But what they just try to fight it by increasing the opposite, which is the reactionary, hate fueled, counterbalance, I guess, basically. And I don't know if I'm being cynical or negative or whatever, but like, I foresee the future of like this use of AI in the same way that I see the future of the rapidly deteriorating climate situation. Like, on the one hand, it's going to enable communities, or it's going to force communities to develop like independent, you know, less hierarchical structures where they can like, you know, create a better, basically create a better social and economic system within their own community in order to survive. They're going to have to. And on the other hand, it's going to create massive like movements of human beings that will also lead to like just untold levels of death and destruction and genocide. So like I think both are going to happen. I just think that it's the same thing with AI. Like on the one hand, many people's material conditions will be absolutely fucking destroyed, and on the other hand, like people will be able to use it to free themselves from certain types of like oppression and control. And like I think that because it has that potential, that's where like we should be, you know, that's where we should be focused basically, is how do we use it to do what we know to be right, and like help our communities or whatever your ideals are. Because it can do that. You know, like, so at the end of the day, we have the numbers. We have to remember that, because they just have so much power. They have so much fucking influence and control and entrenched power, but it just takes one, like, every person has to continually like throw off the social control expectations, like fucking patriarchal bullshit, like etc., so on and so forth. And so like I just look at it the same way with AI, is like we have to recognize that this is how we can do things. And if I'm being specific, I would say like if I can train a model to be able to query for my own local investigations, that's going to save me so much time that I will be able to do more investigations, and I will also free up a lot of my own time to pursue whatever else it is that I'm potentially interested in, whether it's, you know, advocacy, like political advocacy, or like artistic work, or et cetera, so on and so forth. So that's like a lot of the good potential that I see in it, in ways that it can be, if you're not just thinking about it in a doom and gloom way of like, it's going to take my job. Like, okay, well, why don't you use it to make your job way the fuck easier? And then like, isn't that a real, like, wouldn't that be a really good thing for a lot of people? Yeah.
Yes. Like, I mean, that's the goal. And recently I watched a video on stream wherein there was this thing in the 1970s in Chile, before the coup and all the bad stuff happened. But they were trying to run their distribution
You
system.
mean when
within-
socialism failed once again as an inferior system with no outside influence?
Absolutely, 100%. The CIA
Sorry.
was never there. It was called CyberSyn, SYN, CyberSyn, and they were running. It was working, right? Like it was in the beginning stages, but it was working. It was a distribution system based on algorithms and knowing where all this stuff was and like that. And there is no reason, based on what we already have in place, like today's technology, we could theoretically flip a switch and have everything distributed via algorithm, and all the people's basic needs could be or met. And then the only bottleneck that's happening is the people who want, the money. That's actually slowing down the distribution of the things. And there are certain people like Sam Altman from OpenAI who are like, we need to be talking about, like UBI. He's talking about like 33,500 per year within the context of cost dropping significantly because of not having people involved in these processes and not having to pay the people. Just give everybody 33 grand a year in order to take care of their needs. And then, the cost of housing because of 3D printing could drop towards zero. All these things will trend towards zero the more that we automate them. And there are people within that rich folk in charge type, whatever you want to call it, community, who are aware of the issues. Even Andy Yang had like the inkling of it. He was at least talking about UBI, even though he has no idea what he's doing. So I think that people are aware of it, and a lot of the issues that we're currently running into politically with your right wingers and like that, not only are they dying off, but the more noise that they are making is actually indicative of that dying off. History is acting as like a bulldozer to push them off the cliff.
Yep.
And there's nothing that they could do about it, so they're raging and they're like doing the thing, and it sucks for a lot of people on the ground, and I'm not downplaying any of that, right? It's like when I talk about money. At the high level, money is imaginary, but at the cash register, it's very, very real. So, like, that's the same kind of thing. There's a way out where there's a way out for everybody. It's just enough people at the top need to see that way out and take advantage of it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess my concern has always been that the ones at the top just recognize like, oh yeah, all this shit is gonna implode, and so let's fuck it. Like, did we finish ordering our third vacation survival bunker yet? Because like that's the way they're viewing it, which I don't think is gonna work. I think that if they're like self-aware enough, then they'll be able to recognize that like that's actually not going to work, or like being like, oh, I actually don't want society to completely crumble and be living in a survival bunker or whatever. Even if it's a rich bunker, it's still going to suck ass just knowing that everything got destroyed. So yeah, I have some hope that like there's still humanity within that class that could be potentially utilized to like shift us forward, advance us forward. But yeah, I guess I'd compare your idea about the cliff and the bulldozer to like the Bud Light thing, because I got in an argument. Well, not really an argument. I just commented on somebody's thing on Facebook recently about it, and they were just saying like, oh, like, Bud Light alienating 95% of their audience, their buyer, whatever, just for wokeness or whatever the fucking stupid bullshit they said was. You can imagine it. It would be easier. It would be easier for ChatGPT to fucking make that shit up than basically anything, because it's so predictable. But yeah, like I guess the thing about that is that like the majority of people think that you're fucking stupid. The Bud Light haters, like the majority, even people who just live out in the country and drink Bud Light, like they literally just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And I think that's an example of what you're talking about, where like they're kicking and screaming and crying and shitting and fucking yeah, they're throwing a fucking baby tantrum because ultimately, yeah, their relevancy is like rapidly deteriorating and they can't handle it, and like it's really hard to stay positive sometimes, and like seeing the ways that they create the ways that they do stochastic terrorism, or the ways that they like push violence onto a community, and it's scary looking back at the historical reference as well of like how these types of reactionaries, if they gain a certain level of control, can like really fucking wreak havoc and fuck things up. But I also don't see that happening, because I think that they're just dwindling away slowly but surely. And I mean, my family escaped from a fundamentalist Christian like control structure that is ultimately part of that like overarching system that wants to protect itself. But so I have hope for a lot of other people in that same way. It just takes So yeah, I guess that's just what that made me think of. So I could see what you mean about that though too, like the ways in that people like Elon Musk or whoever you want to name are just they just want to keep accumulating more and more, and they're going to keep making it worse for everyone else. But that can only go for so long,
Yeah.
probably.
Well, no, I mean it is non-sustainable because like take it, take anyone. If you're Jeff Bezos and you fire enough people, then all of a sudden no one's buying your product anymore because there's so many people who are unemployed. So what do? Right?
Yeah,
Like at the very least you are undermining your
you create an
own
entire system based on debt, perhaps.
well, but these people can't get credit in order to pay that debt, you know?
Yeah, well, that shit's now collapsing too. Like
Right.
that only be go on for so. It was a band-aid, but that's I guess what's the next band? Like, do they have any more of those? You got any more fucking? You got
Any more than
got any more?
band-aids?
Yeah, you got any more band-aids for our economic system before people literally are at your door, like with the guillotine supplies, 3D printed guillotine supplies, or something?
Yeah, the fact that no one born after like 1989 grew up under the specter of communism as the evil empire and nuclear war at any point in time kind of thing, like they have a completely different view of you know communism, socialism, because the negative example isn't there, and then they see people freaking out calling like and this is where they shot themselves in the foot. The fact that they're going all in on calling the Democrats communist, and anyone who has just the slightest bit of lefty theory in them is like that's not a communist. Like I know a
They're
communist,
shooting
but
themselves in the foot too, because what happens when a 13-year-old who lives in the country and never hears anything hears them being like communist, communist. Well, guess what they have? The internet. So you
Right.
fucked up. Now they're gonna look that shit up.
Right.
Idiot. What do you think is gonna happen? Like it's clear what's gonna happen. They're gonna look that shit up and be like, wait a second, and then just like as many repeated moments as possible. Unless I guess they could theoretically get sucked into the 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 negative algorithm, but generally, I think it works against them to
And-
lie with every single fucking word they say,
And
because
you have
yeah.
people like Max Frost, right? Like representative from Florida, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's openly calling them like fascist, right? Like we have reached that level that they are doing that kind of stuff. And you have Marjorie Taylor Greene trying to dunk on a woman because she's not the biological mother of her kids. That doesn't look good. There's no circumstance under that looks good for your group. And even the Republicans who are less bastards are starting to get tired of it. Right, like the RNC is serving Bud Light, and now like there's another rift in the right wing sphere where like because and this is why I argue against leftist purity testing so hard, is when you have purity testing, eventually you're going to lead to people who are your natural allies, and you need to not alienate your allies.
That's the whole concept of an ally. Like that's what an ally is. It's somebody who doesn't necessarily agree with you about everything, right? Like if they like that's like if come on, like that's what an ally is somebody who's like not fully on the same page with you, but you're going the same place. And like it's so weird for people to like, or you're gonna so you're just gonna have no allies then? You're gonna be on an island by yourself and you're gonna fix shit? All right, well go try it, bitch. But like it's not gonna work, because that's the whole point of having an ally, is that we come to our common ground about what we all know, and we work towards fixing that shit, and then we can kill each other at the end of that. Maybe.
and that's
Anybody who wants to
something-
kill each other now, you gotta go over there. I don't know.
you gotta just put a sock in
Okay.
it until
You
after
don't
the
find-
revolution. That's the thing, is like someone like Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO, they understand. They don't like communism, right? Because they still understand communism as this, as the Soviet Union, basically, the over authoritarian whatever. I don't want to. Don't at me, chat. Like, we're speaking about a liberal view of the Soviet Union, so calm down. Over authoritarian, central planning, all that kind of stuff. They don't like that. But they totally dig on the like Nordic model and things like that, where like they understand social safety nets. They're not inhuman where they want people to die, and they see how they could satisfy those needs. So that's what gives me a certain amount of hope, is that there are people up and down the scale. It's moving slower. Like, our political moves are slower than our technological moves, and that's concerning. But again, like, when you get pushed up against making a decision, then you need to make that decision or you die off. And like, I think the worst thing that ever happened to the Republican Party recently is the Roe v. Wade thing. The fact that they got what they wanted really shot themselves in the foot with these alleged independents who exist in the United States, right? Like, they went a bridge too far. And the way that they attack members of the trans community who like accomplish anything, especially like in the field of sport or anything else like that, it comes across as cruel. It doesn't come across as like defending, like, the majority of Christians are just like Sunday Christians, or like,
Yep.
Easter and Christmas Christians. They're just like regular folks who believe in God, but they're not like wild about it. And they're just like, okay, I like these people, and they happen to be trans or gay or whatever. And and when you go all Christian nationalist on them, you make them feel uncomfortable. They would like you to be quiet.
Yo, Almas Frizzle and Libra just both said CEOs Christmas and Easter only. Yeah, no, that's real though, and it's definitely a thing where, if you have exposure to things, that's why every generation is more progressive and accepting of people being who they are and being free to be who they are, is because you grow your parents could be bigots, white, Christian nationalists, whatever, but if you're at school and you have friends who are gay, and you know that they're just people like you, then like the rhetoric just doesn't get through, because you see reality in front of you, whereas the people who are spouting those reactionary opinions are they're not even living in the same reality. And it becomes very clear once like one part of that structure is broken down, one part of the overarching structure of lies that have created a false reality for so many people. If you take that away, if you take one of the lies away from somebody, that's all it takes. That's why like that type of radicalization is a house of cards. Whereas like, I think the correct leftist like type of radicalization is usually building piece by piece. At least in my experience, it's been building a thing after, like it's building like I can accept this truth now, and accept this truth now, and reject this lie. But like I grew up being radicalized, you could say, not really politically, but like I grew up being like extremist in my beliefs, and having this entire like structure built up on a fucking a throne of lies. I sat on a throne of lies. They sat on a throne of lies, right? And like you take one of the lies out, and like suddenly shit just fucking collapses. I mean, I'm still rejecting some of the lies, but like, it's a trajectory that's kind of like it's all downhill from there, in a good way.
Yeah, again, it's the bulldozer pushing them to the cliff. Like you said, like I had a girlfriend, and she took me to her Baptist church, and I was digging the vibes, and everyone was having a good time. And then they brought out the fire and brimstone guy, and he's like, um, anti-gay stuff, and I'm like, and I talked to her on the phone, and I'm like, yo, I got some questions, right? Like, because I have friends who are gay, and the idea that like this, I can't go to this church, and she goes, well, just don't think about it so much. And I was like, okay, we're good. Have a nice day.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I guess the thing, like, that one's weird. That one's always been weird to me, but like, just because I guess my dad was the pastor, but he just never really talked about gay people, which I respect a lot. Looking back, I'm like, yeah,
Right.
he just didn't care. He never talked. He never preached about it once, if I remember correctly, which is like, so I didn't have to like figure that one out as much. But for people who do, it's like, yeah, if your parents are taking you to church and the pastor's telling you something or other about like gay people, and you're just like, that's wrong, idiot. Now guess what? Now you done fucked up, because now they're not going to trust other shit that you say.
Right. Exactly. You've eroded your
Credibility.
confidence, your credibility. Like, I can't trust you anymore because of how out of pocket you are, based on my lived
You always
experience.
lying. Why you always lying?
Why you always lying?
So yeah, fucking lying liars. But you know what doesn't lie?
You can put two leftists together without us going into leftism. It doesn't matter that we're here to talk about AI. We're going to talk about leftism and inclusive leftism.
Yep. I mean, well, because like we're talking about the implications of AI
Yeah.
within a structure, and like, I mean, it's just, I guess it's automation would be like a broad term that's been discussed regularly, because if it's about economic systems, then yeah, it's going to be applicable to our like, our little lefty brains
Right.
popping off. So like, but that's another example of something that is interesting from a radicalization or de-radicalization perspective, or a deprogramming perspective, is like, that's like the main line. Like, that's like the one that people don't ever learn anything about. Like, you don't ever think everything about our economic system from an educational standpoint is basically assumed. Like, it's like, here's how shit works, but it's not even, it's never presented with any frame of reference outside of like just an assumed truth about like the capitalist system and the way that it's built. And so, I don't know how that relates to what we were just talking about, but other than that, like, if we're talking about a throne of lies or a structure of lies, like, I don't know. It's again, like you say, they like the worst thing that happened in the Republican Party. If they kill their credibility with a generation by trying to demonize trans people, when that generation knows that they're fucking lying about that shit, because they know trans people and they're friends with trans people and there's trans people in their family, like, then that just in the long term really hurts their prospects as a political force in the country, because they're just gonna, one lie sits on top of another one, so
And
they're kicking the bottom of their own Jenga tower. You're pulling around Jenga block, bro.
the millennials and Gen Zers, which I hate generationalizing people, but their acceptance of technology is like completely different. Like, the boomer talking point of these kids are always on their phone. It's like these kids are having discussions with each other, right? They are talking, they're just talking in a different format, and they have the sum total of the knowledge available to them just by going on there, and they can Google shit. And like they don't have the same nostalgia for a simpler time that a lot of the older generations have. And I feel like the incel communities and the Matt Walshes and even like a Steven Crowder, like normies know Tucker Carlson because he's on Fox, right? And his ass just got fired. These other people who exist on the internet, normies don't know them, like we know Matt Walsh and his What Is a Woman in that crap, but like I got friends who have no idea who Matt Walsh is.
My mom wouldn't know. She's
Right.
a fucking newspaper editor. She knows shit. She doesn't know who Matt Walsh is.
So it's like I feel like there is a over presentation of certain viewpoints because on social media they are they're loud, right? They're not right, they're just loud. And that's something that affects our
resources.
our perspective, right? Like, because we think these people are more important even than they are, when actually like 65% of Americans, no issue with trans people and wish you would stop fucking chasing them out of your state because you look like an ass.
Yeah. And that shit's gonna, just like with Roe v. Wade, like when the downstream economic destruction that is going to be caused by all the people who are packing their fucking bags and moving to another state because you took away a fundamental freedom that they had, like that shit is really gonna bite you in the ass in the long term. You fucking idiots.
Plus ratio. And now Disney's suing DeSantis because he took it a step too far. So it's like all these, like, I don't want to simp for corporations, but all these companies are like going to leave your state because your state is a problem, like you are not behaving in a rational way. I don't want to put my company there. I want to put it in a place where I have access to the largest talent pool that's available. So I'm going to go to a state that has, better laws. And I'm worried that you're going to turn around and focus on me next, especially with this woke corporation nonsense. It's like the purity testing is going to get.
Thing is, though, we are but they can't stop that shit. They have to bend and flex, and that's what's funny. Like that's a better marker of like, because the line go up shit. That's all tech bro type like data stuff. Like they know, like they're just looking at the data and going, we have to, we gotta put rainbows on our shit, you guys. Like,
Right.
if you want see line up, and they go, yeah, all right, add rainbows.
Yeah,
The data fucking tells us.
there is the fact that corporations have decided that certain communities are worth pandering to, that it should be taken as a good sign under capitalism, right? Like, is because it is worth it to pander to you. This is good. You want this.
Yeah. Not that absolves them of any of it.
No. Fuck
Nobody says. Yeah, like
against the wall.
Exactly. But yeah, like I don't know. I think that it's funny because in terms of like the talent and recruiting pool thing, yeah, like we're not gonna work for your fucking homophobic company, bitch. Suck my dick. And we're gonna find the ones that are like going to treat people inclusively, and that's just going to continue. And then you're going to like see an even bit like larger concentration of people with progressive and even leftist values like in positions or influencing places or influencing the culture of workplaces or even like community groups or whatever it is, local governments, etc., who can actually have over time continue that effect and hopefully just find the right way to make it all collapse in on itself.
And again, that going back to the automation thing, it's like you are going to have like there are certain the way that I see it, like not best case scenario, but just the way that humans are is in the immediate, you know, next 20, 30 years kind of thing. You are going to see a lot more AI assistants. Like in the same way that you have a smartphone, your smartphone will contain an AI assistant. Jobs
Yeah.
are going to have AI assistant. Is going to come a wave of people being more productive, eventually leading to a wave of people becoming more unemployed. But again, the prices, the costs are going to trend towards zero, and if people don't like the last thing that anyone wants, history tells us the last thing that anyone wants is a bunch of idle people who are angry that their children are hungry. So you're going to have to make a choice, and you can't put enough cops in between those people and your yacht. So you're going to have to start, and it's going to be cheaper for you to
Top
just
wall.
pay people off, right? Just pay everybody off.
Yep. I mean, maybe we get maybe. I mean, they just build cop robots, but that's when we know what to do. We know what to do from the Matrix. Like an arming EMP switch.
You know the website WikiHow that teaches you to do stuff?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I went on WikiHow and found how you can build 3 different versions of a personal EMP device which could be deployed against a robot.
I'm not saying that's a possibility against the robot. I'm not saying that I know how to do
I
that.
do not endorse that at all. I'm just saying the internet is a wonderful place.
Yep. Well, I should probably get going because I have to drive home. But that was fun. We should talk. We shouldn't wait so long to talk again.
Absolutely. I just your schedule, like I'm here to educate people, and you know I try to keep my schedule. You actually do work, son, and so like your schedule, but hit me up. Don't ever feel like you're intruding in me or anything. You hit me up and I'll make it work.
Hit me up and if you have an idea to talk about something, and I'll
little Donnie Fud.
I'd be like, maybe.
I got little Donnie Fun in my chat. He's like, he's usually free Thursdays.
Yes, exactly. You see, I'm building a team who I eventually hope to replace every single one of them with an AI after I learn their secrets and plug it into a language model. Just kidding. But yeah, no, I definitely I definitely want to get on. I have goals to get into more of a schedule. I have goals to get into more. Mash said, "Good luck." All right. I didn't say how long it would take.
I'm trending towards a schedule.
I think she's saying good luck replacing the team members with AI assistants. But yeah, I'm trying to get on more of like a schedule where I'm doing talks and stuff on Thursdays or whatever day, you know. I'm fine with saying that so long as I leave it at the end with non-commitment. But yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun talking, and I'm sure that we both have a lot more we could say specifically on the AI thing. But yeah, I mean, like if like I have my, I guess, general under newsroom in my Discord. I have general, the general newsroom. I should have one for tech. Assuming I keep my news the way it is, my Discord the way it is. But yeah, I'd love if you put any AI like updates in there, especially if you feel like something's big, or like videos too. I like the ones for my like Thursday workday stuff.
I mean, I know how it is with Discords. I'm member, like, there's a percentage of Discords I'm in, and then a percentage I actually participate in, and so on. But I take anything that I come across, any videos that I play, and I put them in my Discord in an easy way to find them. So if you or anyone else within the sound of my voice wants to make access to that, like by all means. I've got a few people who like to contribute stuff in there, especially using Chat GPT and some of the Mid Journey and stuff like that. So I don't have what I would call an active community, but like they are great people trying to contribute what they can. So
Just poke around in there if I need to
yeah,
check in on.
the videos from stream and the links from stream. Are all going to contain this stuff of like anything that I've already covered, and to get yourself up to speed on any particular aspect. And for anybody in the chat who isn't following me, it's like I am going to be talking about AI safety and what the future is going to look like. And I saved the VODs. I have cyber socialism. I can justify everything. Like it could happen. We could do it today. We're just not, for a variety of reasons.
And while I may only sleep for 4 hours a night, the Globus never sleeps. So,
all right, my friend.
Thanks, Globus.
Pleasure. I'll talk to you soon.
Wait,
Yes.
are you done streaming or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be wrapping up.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I'll probably raid Kaya then.
Okay, then we'll do a double raid on Kaya.
Double raid. Let's go. All right.
All right.
Thanks, Globus. Bye bye.
Bye. Can you hear me here? Oh, wow. I'm on a delay. Okay. I'll just finish off in here and I'll try to unfuck this situation. Green. Okay. I can hear me. Okay. So as I was saying, I'm going to get in touch with Arun, see if we're talking about any South Asian politics tomorrow, or if I will be talking about AI. Otherwise, I will be back on Monday with more AI content. But you should come by tomorrow at 5 either way. Thank you for being here. So May 12th and 13th, I will be doing a fundraiser for Rainbow Passage. May 18th, Arun will be doing a memorial stream for the Sri Lankan genocide. can do this. I can't do this. I can do this. I'm fast. Boom. Okay, cool. So you should go follow Arun if you don't already. In the lots of stuff to talk about coming soon, and we're about to raid out. So, drink some water, eat some food, take your meds if you forgot. Chuggy loves you, and so do I.
Did Fox lawyers attempt to intimidate you, harass you, push you to say things that were not true?
Oh, 100% they did, yeah. And I realized that the answers that they wanted me to say were putting me in a very vulnerable spot.
Yo, Globus.
You're grateful. I appreciate that.
Yo, Globus, thank you. Thank you for the raid. How you doing, baby? Yo, everybody go follow Globus. Thank you. You almost had it. Yo, Iberlin, what up, baby? How you doing? How was your stream?
What up, baby?
And also, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. My name is Ryder Ranch on Twitch, but you can call me Kaya. And we're